McMaster warns that a bill now under state lawmakers' consideration could cripple South Carolina's ability to respond to future public health threats.
But supporters of the so-called Medical Freedom Act claim these changes are needed to protect individual liberties during emergencies. State House reporter Mary Green explains.
This bill would prohibit the state, schools, and even private employers from forcing workers or students to receive novel vaccines. But South Carolina's Republican governor cautions that other parts of this Republican-sponsored legislation go too far. In a rare step, Governor Henry McMaster penned this letter warning the bill known as the Medical Freedom Act could potentially place innocent lives at risk in future public health emergencies. Dr. Edward Simmer, who leads the Department of Health and Environmental Control, echoed those concerns in a hearing before senators.
There are a number of issues that we believe where this bill actually would cause harm to the people of South Carolina, and would in fact cause unnecessary death amongst the people of South Carolina during a public health crisis.
Simmer ran through provision after provision that he says would severely inhibit the state's ability to respond in public health emergencies, including by removing or reducing its authority to require people to quarantine or isolate and to get law enforcement's help if people don't abide. But some conservative lawmakers argue local sheriffs shouldn't be compelled to enforce these commands if they don't agree with them.
So we're just going to let people that are facing a pandemic have no public help from anybody in law enforcement?
Well, it says they may.
Senators did amend an especially troubling part of the bill for DHEC, which would have prohibited the state health agency from acquiring and administering novel vaccines until they had full FDA approval. Had that been in place during the pandemic, it would have delayed South Carolinians' abilities to get those shots by months.
That simply takes the pendulum too far in the other direction. We just don't want people to be mandated to have to take them, and we don't want people taking them without informed consent.
But another provision still remains that would strip the state's ability to respond to health and human safety threats during and after natural disasters like hurricanes and floods. The head of the state's emergency management division writes this could put South Carolinians' health and safety at risk. Despite the concerns outlined, including from the governor, that Senate subcommittee did advance an amended version of this bill. It'll next head to the full Senate Medical Affairs Committee and still has to pass a handful of more votes to reach the governor's desk. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
Now, Dr. Simmer also noted that during the COVID-19 pandemic, DHEC did not force anyone to get vaccinated or to quarantine or isolate, but he says